we really acknowledge that we can't do it just the two of us. Because if it's just the two of us, we keep fighting almost every day and we don't know how to figure ourselves out. But we've had very solid support, people around us who believe in the marriage even when we don't believe in it anymore.
It's like doing the grocery. So we come in together as a couple. We find our own necessities inside, so we break up and then go to the cashier together, holding hands again. Go home. That's how I define marriage.
Hi, I'm Anthony Pangilinan,
And I'm Maricel, Laxa-Pangilinan.
and welcome to Marriage is a Marathon.
The podcast, Season 2.
Season 1 kasi kami lang nag-uusap noon. Sabi namin, ano ba? Magsama naman tayo ng iba. Because in a marathon, right, you don't run alone. Minsan nandyan yung mga nauna sa inyo, your mentors, your coaches, or those who
Cheerleaders.
want to, cheer you or wanna start running themselves. So we said, let's bring in the community. So may mga kasama tayong mga ibang couples ngayon. May mga experts pa nga when it comes to marriage.
Yes, and so we want to go through this marathon together with the challenges, the joys, the highs, and the lows. Because when you have a marriage that is a marathon,
We run together, have fun together. We race together, one step.
at a time. So you are watching Marriage is a Marathon, the podcast Season 2. And today we have the privilege of having Dimples and Boyet-Ahmee.
Woo!
Hi, ate.
Salamat!
Oh, thank you for having
so
us.
much.
Thank you for
Boyet,
making time.
Is this your first time na mag-guest ka sa podcast?
Podcast,
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Wow, thank you naman na pinaunlakan mo kami.
Oh,
Ito
no.
ang reveal.
Good luck.
At least a marriage podcast.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
done
yeah.
Brother Bo,
Oh, yeah.
Oo.
but more.
Yeah.
Ito yung may kaharap kami talagang married couple as well. So we're very excited.
I hope. He said he was very scared, but
Yeah, he looked
joke
it.
lang.
No, I'm
More
very,
scared than you're scared
no,
of me.
very confident.
Oo,
How
very
can you not be confident? Ang tagal-tagal nyo nang magkasama.
23
Oh.
years.
My God, they grew up together, literally.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah,
grew
that's
up together. You know, Dimples has been married longer than she was single in her life.
Agree.
That's
yes. So anything he's complaining about practically he has to talk to himself because he practically raised me.
Oh my God.
Pag inisip po, di ba, parang, okay, mas matagal na ako na married. That means whatever he's gonna complain about is his
Oh my
husband.
God.
His
Pero sinabi ng mga tao yun nung nagsimula kayo, di ba? When you started, ano ba, bata pa siya? How did you handle that when you started? 19 pa lang siya noon, oh.
Well, up until now naman kasi, they will see it. Pero during that time, I could not tell them the future.
Of course.
Diba?
Of course.
So, I guess now that they are seeing us after 23 years, that answers their questions.
Natahimik na sila.
Yes.
Diba? Well, maraming nananahimik just watching you both because, wow, for you to last this long. You know, and actually people look up to you, bro.
Oh,
Seriously. The quiet entrepreneur, the egoless husband supporting
Yeah.
the shining light, you know, as you step back.
oh my God.
Wow, bago kaming mga...
Hindi madali yun.
Bago kami. Congratulations.
Am I blushing?
Yes, you're super red. But I couldn't agree with you more, Kuya. I think in our marriage, often when you see the husband staying home, and very proudly so, a lot will be said.
Mm-mm.
And Boyd was in the corporate world for quite some time until he realized he wanted to be more present at home.
Galing nga eh.
And when we had decided, it was a conscious effort for both of us to say, you know what? Let's throw away the rule book and let's just do our family the way we want to do it. And it was not easy, nor
It wasn't, yeah.
nor was it convenient for both of us, but it works out for us.
Paano niyo ginawa yan? Kasi hindi naman kayo nag-aral. You didn't have enough time to really prepare. Before you knew it, you were married.
Yeah.
So, how did you survive those initial years?
Well, initially, ang importante naman dyan is it's between you and your husband or wife.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So kayong dalawa,
Yeah,
ganyan, oo.
we may not, be obvious, but we made a pact. Yeah, okay, we're going through this together. No
Blood
matter-
compact, ha?
Yeah, yeah. So I guess, pero it's not that easy nga. Meron pa rin disagreements.
For sure, for
Meron
sure.
ba
Majority
kayong
like
mga
disagreements.
tinatakbuhan ng mga tao? Kasi she's a very public person. You're a very private person. Paano nyo pinapag-merge yon? Meron bang gumagabay sa inyo?
Plenty.
A lot.
We
Early
have,
on, when you started, saan kayo tumatakbo pag may problema kayo or disagreements, halimbawa?
Our ninongs and ninangs.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
okay.
Well, Derek Lauren was
Yeah,
there.
one of,
We have attorney Butch Suarez, who's the cousin of my papa, but
Yeah.
he's also our family lawyer na.
Mhm.
We listen to him, and he guides us even outside of the marriage. And we have Father Dennis
yeah,
Paez, who
Paez.
prays for us.
Mhm.
Who else, man? Brother Bo.
Brother Bo.
And
Yeah,
Ate
latter
Laro.
part.
Buti
Yeah.
open kayo sa mga ganun, ano?
Yeah,
I mean, that...
Kasi we really acknowledge that we can't do it just the two of us. Because if it's just the two of us, we keep fighting almost every day and we don't know how to figure ourselves out. But
Yeah.
we've had very solid support, people around us who believe in the marriage even when we don't believe in it anymore. And so
Apart from people around you, what helped you navigate through those fighting days?
So-
And I'm sure there still are. There still will be. Paano kayo
we
mag-away?
also have our
Ano natutunan?
parents actually. We also have our
Pati
parents.
magulang, ha?
Yeah.
Oh, pero we try not to approach them too much, especially approaching my parents. Kasi pag naging okay na kayo, sometimes naiiwan pa.
Oo.
And even for my mom, I think,
Yeah.
especially in the younger years, of course, they're also easing into the marriage. So, naturally, they would want to support either him or me. But ako naman, I've always felt part of the family. And even for him naman, lalo my brother, he's very close to Boyet.
So, anong tip nyo sa mga nag-aaway?
Okay lang mag-away.
Yeah, okay lang mag-away.
Oo, basta wag mag-iwanan. Palagay ko,
Yun.
yun para sa amin. Kasi the moment you I fear indifference more than fighting. Pag wala na kayong pake, parang,
Yeah.
Delikado na yun.
oh, parang di na lang kayo nag-uusap. Sige
Mas okay ka pang galit ka sa indifferent,
Yeah.
diba? At least yung may emotion pa.
Yeah.
Because you care.
Right.
Pag nasasaktan ka pa, may pakiramdam ka pa.
Yeah.
Tsaka may maganda kayong sinabi na iniingatan nyo rin yung kampihan.
Yes.
Kasi sinabi nyo, no, you don't share too much.
Yeah.
If everybody's involved with your process, pagka hindi na away ang nangyayari, bati na kayo,
Yeah.
sila baka hindi pa
Iwan.
kayo bati.
Yeah.
True.
And that goes not just for family, but also for friends.
Mm-mm.
Kami naman po kasi ni Poet, we've remained very good friends with a lot of my friends, even when I was younger, and
Mm-mm.
Poet too. But we also have friends who are not shared.
Oo.
Oh, yeah.
He has friends that only his friends, and my friends, my friends. But I respect my friendship so much that yan, sina Bea, sina Beatrice, they know that kahit anong sumbong ko, sabi ko, they will not treat Boyet differently because they love him
Yeah.
like a friend.
Mm-mm.
And alam ko may mga friends din siyang ganon. So,
Importante may sarili kayong mga kaibigan.
Yeah.
Diba? May sarili rin kayong mundo.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you completely forget,
Yeah.
right? Your world, her world. But you do have a shared world, no?
Yeah.
Ano pa ang tip nyo? Kami, halimbawa, bawal mag-away malapit sa kusina kasi maraming kutsilyo doon.
Oh,
Hindi tayo.
thanks for that tip.
Pwede palang iwasan yun. Hindi.
Kasi sabi mo, walang iwanan.
Yeah.
Or takbuhan ninyo ang mga tao makakatulong. Anything else that would help couples in times of disagreement? Meron pa ba? That helped you guys? Nakatulong sa inyo?
Sleep it off. I don't believe in not sleeping and
Oh, yeah.
just
Tama.
fighting it out. Sometimes you're just throwing tantrums because you're sleepy
Yeah.
and or you're
Pagod ka
tired
na.
or you're
Yeah.
hungry.
Gaya ng isang
Tulog
bata,
mo, di ba?
baka kailangan lang matulog.
Yeah, and I
1
think
week yung pinakamalakas natin walang tulog, di ba?
hindi tayo natulog.
Yeah, just kidding.
Hindi, pero kami siguro parang, I don't know, minsan yung mga pinag-aawayan kasi namin na pinakamabababaw na eh. Parang di na talaga. And I think it's mainly because when we married in young, we became parents first before we actually got to know each other like a couple. We didn't feel like we had gotten to know each other more as a couple until 5 years ago when we could afford the time to be together.
Wow.
It was Sir Deo and Renal before he passed. He had a date with me and Nay Ethel Espiritu. I remember him telling me na, Dimps, I think you've saved enough to not fret. I think it's time for you to pause and get to know your husband.
Wow.
gosh.
That's
And
Buti nga
I'm like,
buti nga naghintay eh, di ba?
yeah. And ako, parang ang laking wisdom nun for me because I was born into a family that I had to work hard. And that's where my worth comes from.
Yes,
Being
yes.
able
Buti
to
alam mo yun,
provide.
ha?
Yeah.
Yung self-awareness na yun,
Opo,
hindi
kuya.
common yan.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But again, I go back to everything I have learned as a woman, now as a human being. I learned mostly from my husband. And he may not know that he was the one who taught me that, whether it was intentional or not. But alam ko yun. Kasi siya rin yung very protective of me eh. Na parang, ako kasi I believe in, humanity so much. Like, I believe in the goodness of people. But boy, it always reminds me not everybody's out there to be good to you. Okay?
Paano mo pinotektahan si Dimples?
Well,
Parati yan nasa labas.
yeah.
Di ba?
Kasi since ako nga yung on the private side, one thing also na I learn from, I observe people. I observe
Okay.
yung couples,
Okay.
how they are, how they treat each other, or I observe my parents, how they handle things. So I'm pretty much exposed on the reality and not on the movie side. Kasi
Okay.
movie is perfect.
Okay.
Diba?
Okay.
So from then, parang yun nga, self-realization at saka is very important. You take out all the good parts growing up and then take out the bad. Like for example, alam mo naman kung ano yung you don't like being treated when you were a child. So don't give that, pass it on to your kids. Kasi
Buti naiwalay mo yun, ano?
Na,
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Tapos, dito tayo.
I'd rather observe it than experience it on hand.
yeah.
Kasi it's,
That's
yeah.
very wise of you kasi hindi mo na kailangan pagdaanan yung mga mistakes ng iba kasi natuto ka na.
Yeah.
And because you're talking about your kids, you're raising multi-generational
Yeah.
kids.
Yes, yes.
quite distinct to us, ate.
Oo.
When I think about it, it really makes me super
That's-
terrified.
So, ages.
22, Kali is 22.
And then,
Alonso is 11,
Gen Z, Gen
Gen Alpha.
Alpha
Alpha,
And then
and
another Gen Alpha, apparently. Ilio is 3.
3,
Yeah.
Oh.
okay.
Both Gen Alpha.
Alpha ba ang 3? Alpha
Yeah.
ba?
20.
Basta alam ko may bago na eh. Basta
Meron.
Yeah.
But the gap, the gap. So, what's the dynamic? Paano yan? Paano nyo?
So si Kali, she
Di na mo
grew
barkada
up with
yun.
you. Barkada niyo siya.
Oh, yeah.
Tropa talaga.
Mas sila tropa. I
Huh.
always say, okay, the way you are to your dad is not, that's not for me.
Okay.
And, so I actually want to be called mom and not dude and not bra and not.
Yun
I
ba tawag
want
sa'yo
to be-
minsan?
Yeah.
When she was in funny
And so many
Element-
other things I cannot mention here, of course. But,
elementary, so I would pick her up. Tapos I call her classmates. They would call me, "Hi Tito, hi Tito." So I'm assuming they know my daughter. So don't call me Tito, call me Tito, dude or dude. So fun, di ba nagkaroon ng family day?
Yeah.
Sabi ng mga bata in the day, dude! Sabi ko, pinagalitan sila. Sabi ko, no, I actually
I'm
told.
looking at them like, ano ba tinuturo mo sa mga bata? And ako kasi parang, and I respect that space.
Oo.
I feel like our children deserve and could have two distinct parents. We don't always have to share the same
Yeah.
rules. We don't always have to share the same views on things. And I think that's what makes it fun for us. It's so weird how we speak to Kali differently because she's now an adult, asserting herself in the world, realizing that not everything will be
Yeah.
easy for her, and that's okay.
She's a pilot.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pilot in
Wow.
Australia. po.
Diba?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I think she got that from my dad kasi it was my frustration also. Kasi we didn't have the money then.
Mm.
Pero my dad started from the Air Force and then eventually airline. Nung time na eligible ako, only 1 year. We didn't have the money so I diverted to a different.
So, siya
Career.
na yung
Oh,
nagpatuloy
Anak,
nung
Yeah.
ikaw
pangarap.
ang tutupad ng
He was.
pangarap.
Yeah.
Kasi we go to museum.
Yeah. But he
Tapos,
was very careful. I think even before she left, because we had kicked her out at 18. She had to set herself up in Australia. No family kami doon eh. So
Wow.
just a few friends
Yeah.
that's far
Wow.
away.
that was pandemic time.
Yeah.
So
And Boyd said, Ate, baka naman you're only leaving because you
Yeah.
want to fulfill my dream. And
I
that
had,
shouldn't
I had
be
to sit
okay.
her down.
That's good.
Kasi sabi ko, it's not easy to have a pilot na parent.
Yeah.
Kasi I grew up with my dad. Pag galing flight, 2 weeks, he needs to recuperate. He needs to rest. So, bawal maingay sa bahay.
Wow.
Tapos, babalik na naman siya. And then, saka lang kami, we only got the chance to bond with him when he retired. Kasi, ano na yun eh, wala na siyang ginagawa and stuff. Sabi ko, ikaw, babae ka pa, it's tough. Kasi pag nanganak ka, tapos na yung ano mo, yung vacation mo, you have to go back to work. You're
Yeah.
leaving your kid.
Mm-mm.
So, you have to think about that. And she says, I know, I'm good.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's
Paano
super
nila-
introvert eh. Kuya.
Paano nyo na-handle yon? Kasi three parenting approaches yan. Kasi nga, ang layo ng gap, ang lalaki ng
Yeah.
gap. How do you manage that? How do you manage that? So,
I learned a lot from her.
Okay.
She taught me to be a parent.
Yeah.
Kasi wala, we were not equipped. I never took care of my younger brother growing up kasi we had somebody to take
so
care
the first one taught you how to parent, so it helped you now with the second one.
Oh yeah, eh lalo na yung third, pag umiiyak, sorry anak, pangatlo
Oh,
ka
ito ka
na,
na.
I know what.
Alam na namin to. Hindi ka na, after 5 minutes, okay ka na. But I think for me naman, it's really more, I get to experience life through them.
Mhm.
I've spent 30 years already working. So at this point, when I see Callie graduating, it feels like I also have graduated.
Mhm.
When I see Alonso having fun, I feel like I'm having fun through him. And with Ilio being so playful and Pilio, I feel like I'm experiencing 3 different phases of our lives
Sabay-sabay,
all
sabay-sabay.
together. And it's
Sarap naman
so
nun.
fun,
Yeah.
kuya.
Yeah.
So, hindi pa tapos. Ibig sabihin, I can re-experience this through my kids.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's
that's a nice insight.
fun. And the worlds that they bring us in, it's just often you think, wow, this is only in our dreams. And when I look at them, I feel like I'm in the middle of a poetry or a play or a musical, and every day is something new. Parang it's a gift for Boyet and I.
Yeah, we've been busy growing up, adulting. We tend to forget how fun it is through the kids' eyes.
Yeah.
So
You
it's a
can relive the fun.
Yeah.
You can remind them, oh, okay, life can be fun.
Yeah.
I'm still intrigued dun sa hindi kayo nag-aral.
Yeah.
Wasn't much time, and then when you got together, you had a child, and you were busy.
Yeah.
And sabi mo nga, you didn't even get to know each other so
No.
much. Paano kayo how did they stay together through those years that you were
No.
busy, that you didn't study parenting or marriage? Hindi naman kayo nag-marriage workshop.
No. Parang that doesn't
What
work
kept you
for
together,
Yeah.
Huh?
I know,
You know when people
Kasi-
say there's a secret and we're like, ha?
What's
Meron
a
pala?
secret?
Sabihin niyo na
Kasi
lang.
but parang yan yung recipe for disaster eh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hindi kayo nag-prepare, biglaan, bata siya, busy ka,
Yeah.
hindi naman kayo nag-aral, hindi naman kayo naghabol, and yet you stayed together and you still are together and growing together.
Yeah, kasi
Ano
there's a
nangyari yun?
There's a lot of guides naman eh.
Yeah.
Pero
So
yun
the
na nga.
guides help you.
Yeah, sometimes it does not. Kasi we're 2 different people. We have 2 different personalities. We have 2 different lifestyle. Diba? Basta complete opposite kami.
Sabi mo nag-pact kayo, ano yung pact nyo?
I
Di ba?
think the pact
Ano
for
yung pinagkasunduan nyo?
Same goal.
Yeah.
Same
Oh,
goal.
we may have a different path.
Mm.
I may go straight. She
What
goes,
is the same goal?
the goal is just really to
have a
still be alive with each other and just not I don't know. Ako kasi parang siguro sa akin, I think the secret for Boyet and I try to keep repeating it in my head because na-amazing ako how we have stayed together.
Kami din
We
namin.
we tick all the checks of not being together. We tick all the checks. We have a 9-year generation gap. We have 3 kids who can easily mess up how we are as a couple.
Hindi kayo magkakilala,
yeah.
malalim,
And
sabi mo nga.
he's very private.
Oo.
He's not showbiz. I'm in the business. I think the secret is really self-awareness and just being able to have ano ba, yung parang kasi napansin ko sa amin, we know our demons, kuya.
Mm,
We know
okay,
it.
kilala-
We're so aware of it.
right.
And the nice thing is that we may not like each other at times, but because I know that I married somebody with him carrying this much baggage. And he knows he married somebody with this much baggage.
Pero kasabihan by Sun Tzu, The Art of War, if you know thyself and thine enemy,
Yeah.
you can face 1,000 battles.
Yeah.
You need not fear 1,000 battles.
That's
So,
true.
kilala niyo yung sarili ninyo, self-aware,
Yeah.
strength,
That's what
Hindi
weakness.
na kayo nagugulat.
Yeah, that's where
Alam niyo yung mga demonyo ninyo,
Yeah.
di ba? Iba yun, ano?
And saka we're very acknowledging of each other's imperfections. We're super imperfect, kuya.
Right.
Both of us. And alam namin yun. Alam ko na kung ano yung kakagalit niya. Pero minsan, gagawin ko pa rin, kakagalit niya. And in the same way, alam niya na ikakainis ko, pero sasabihin pa rin niya. Pero dahil aware kami na, alam ko na ganito, alam ko na to. But because the love supersedes everything else.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
the love.
Yeah.
Conquers all.
Yeah.
Yeah, pero yung
Diba?
for me, the kids naman din, that's our marriage. Pero for the kids, you'll know if you're gonna be aware of your actions,
Yeah.
and you know that these kids may follow you.
Yeah.
Yun.
So dapat
Yung
aware ka
example
of the
ninyo.
consequences.
Yeah.
May nanonood sa inyo.
Yeah.
23 years. In a marathon, may tinatawag na wall.
Yes.
You just hit it and then you're wondering why you're still running. Or you start asking yourself, ba't ko ba pinasukan nito?
Or tatapusin ko pa ba to?
Mm.
Has that happened? Does that happen every so often?
Yeah,
You're wondering, ba't pa ako
especially-
nandito?
First 10 kilometers pa lang kami with Cal.
Oo.
You are already questioning.
Yeah, kasi ako, I was in corporate then.
Okay.
Ang hirap I was do shifting. Manufacturing ako before. I shifted to the last stint that I did. So I do 12-hour shift. Meron akong 12 hours night, 12 hours day.
Ito naman, artista.
Yeah.
Yes. So we rarely see each other. Tapos we have a baby at home.
Wow,
Ang hirap.
isa lang siya. Ganun.
Oo, ang hirap. Ang hirap. Ako, umabot sa point na I use up all my vacation leave just to sleep longer beside her. Tapos,
What kept you from quitting? Those times na
I don't know, it's just probably the...
was there a time you actually
Oh,
talked to
yeah, a
yourself and
lot.
said, tuloy
I
ko
would-
ba natin to?
If-
Ikaw Dimples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paano mong
Plenty of
overcome-
times, kuya. I
Kaya
think
nga,
ang
anong
maganda
ginawa
lang sa amin ni Boyet, I want to quit and then he finds a reason not to quit.
Okay.
He wants to quit and then I find a reason not
Kailangan
to quit.
talaga yun.
Never pa kaming nagkaroon ng sabay na
Sabay.
we wanna quit.
Yeah.
Ganun
Galing
din
din
tayo,
Buti
Di
hindi
ba?
kami coordinated.
Kami din ni Maricel, ganun. Buti na lang.
Buti kami
So
hindi
what was the reason?
No. There was a time we actually agreed we will quit.
Oh,
Talaga.
Both of us agreed.
yeah.
And then we talked to our counselor and said, we actually agreed on something. And said, oh, that's great. What is it? We're gonna separate. And sabi niya,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So you're gonna explain that to all the people who attended your wedding.
Yeah.
And
Ano
all
talaga?
your children and everybody. No.
Okay. May tanong ko rito. Kung pelikula kayo, ano ang theme
Oh, theme?
ng kwento niyo? Action ba kayo? Drama ba kayo? Rom-com ba kayo?
Horror. Ano?
Grabe, medley eh.
Hero.
So it's a combination?
Combination. Love story at
What's
first.
your favorite,
What? Movie?
yeah.
We don't have, we
Notting
don't,
Hill?
we don't have a common movie.
Yeah, we don't like the same things. It's so fun, kuya. He likes to watch animals
Document.
and documentaries, and I like to watch scary
Horror.
things.
Oh.
Yeah, so when he wants to watch animals, I watch with him 2 minutes and then I sleep.
Well,
And then the same way goes for each other. But siguro kung merong movie, kuya,
ano nga? Ano
parang
klase?
ako, I would say,
Ano, Train to Busan, sabi
oh my
mo.
God.
Oh,
I'm a Train to
Oo
Busan.
nga, kanina sabi ko, parang Train to Busan, yung nakahabulan ko.
What's that movie na
Ano ba
yung
yun?
cranial ba yan? O crane,
Yan.
yung sobrang deep. Wala ba kayo,
Cerebral.
cerebral,
Oh,
wala ba kayo din?
Well, I think yun yun. Kuya. Alam
Chaotic.
mo yung sobrang artsy na abstract. Kung baga sa
Oo.
painting kami abstract, nobody understands it but they appreciate it. Alam mo yun, yung parang feeling ko sa buhay namin ni Boyet, nagugulat na lang sila, oy, sila pa pala.
Actually, yun ang nafe-feel ko ngayon. Eh. Hindi ko maintindihan, pero na-appreciate ko.
Yeah, na parang,
You know what?
Diba?
I love the synergy.
Yeah.
Kasi nagkakaintindihan kayo.
Yeah.
yeah.
Kahit di namin kayo naintindihan.
Ibang tao,
Diba?
parang ang hirap intindihin.
We can't even have a
Pero,
definition of it.
Nakikita
It
namin,
works.
nagkakaintindihan kayo. And I think that's so important. Kasi not everybody will agree to anything anyway and everything that you go through.
Okay.
But the most important thing is if you agree with each other, you will last this
Pwede ba
long.
pagklaro na sa inyo, the 5 reasons why we stayed, ganyan. Someday, when you find out, can you write about it?
Yeah.
Can you please tell us about it?
And we
You know?
would be, that would be in 30 years. You would be 80 and I'd be 70. But who cares?
Wow.
If it takes that long, ako naman,
Father
I'm
Dennis
here.
told me that secret.
what is it?
Five secret
What is
in a
it?
marriage.
Okay.
Love your wife.
Ayan.
And then,
Love your wife.
third.
Love your wife.
Oh my God.
Love your wife. Love your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he told me that, I stood up and walked away.
And got me to be in the room.
Oh, diba?
Yeah, but
It's tough, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's the respect. Just don't lose the respect.
Yeah.
How does the finish line look like for you?
just for me, two people who had respected the choices of their children,
Mm.
who had lost their way but kept finding each other.
Galing.
That's
Gusto ko yun. We lost our way. We found each other.
Wow.
Kasi I feel like you have to manage your expectation when you are committed to having each other forever.
Mm.
We're gonna grow apart. We're gonna grow closer to each other. But I wanna make sure that I still see him there.
Mm.
Not because I am comfortable having him around, but I feel uncomfortable not seeing him there.
Wow.
Galing.
Darling.
Oh, paano na?
Siguro sa mga nakikinig nga, what would your message be? I love this, you know, there are people watching, they don't know the answers. They are not sure of the 5 steps to a happy marriage. They're probably confused. What's your encouragement for these people?
Well, I'll put it in a practical way. It's like doing the grocery. So we come in together as a couple. We find our own necessities inside, so we break up and then go to the cashier together, holding hands again, and then go home. That's how I define marriage.
Galing, ah.
Yeah. It's like also running the marathon. The husband or the wife might be more athletic than the husband. So you tend to slow down and just,
Right.
adapt to their pace.
Kanya-kanyang section.
Or encourage him or her
Oo.
to, okay, you can do it. You can do it. Add more, one step at a time. When you hit that wall, you were mentioning, it's not easy. But as soon as you see somebody that you love and started this life with, pushing it through, I think that's more than enough for you to move forward.
Gusto ko yung yung dulo, magkasama pa rin kayo.
Yeah.
'Di ba? At asawa mo pa rin magbabayad ng bill. So, okay. Siya mahawak ng credit card.
Tapos ikaw yung naghahanap ng parking ticket kasi hindi mo makita.
Yan, lumabas na.
Ladies and gentlemen, Boyet and Dimples!
We survive. We deserve ice cream for that and photo booth.
I love it. We don't understand it, but we appreciate it.
Yes.
But that's what a miracle is, guys. Right? Before your very eyes. 23 years, congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
Best is yet to come. And we are part of your community. Please know that.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
If you want to confuse us further, please,
text
please
us.
do.
We're a text away.
Best confusion ever.
I love it.
You confused us, my professor said in INSEAD, at a higher level. Diba?
I guess
you
we're the
know what?
first.
They call Anthony the chief disturber.
Ayun.
And
Not
you
disturber.
have just disturbed the chief
disturber.
disturber.
What an honor.
Diba?
Yeah.
And disturbances to a
Maraming
good
salamat.
heart leads to change. Leads to positive change.
Salamat. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
this disturbance. Again, once again, Boyet and Dimples, marriage is a marathon.
The podcast season 2.
God bless. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Marriage is a Marathon, the podcast season 2.
Thank you so much, Mango, for our outfits for today. This episode was shot at Midnight Dream Studio.
For feedback, suggestions, questions, please comment below. And don't forget to follow us on our socials, Anthony Pangilinan and Mommy Maricel.
Run it one step at a time. See you in our next podcast, and God bless you.